Welcome to the qualifying session for the 2025 Azerbaijan Demolition Derby, where we break records and hearts.
There was more incidents on track than George after his late night Mexican.
Alex Albon is stupid. Nico Hülkenberg is stupid. Franco Colapinto is stupid. Ollie Behrman is stupid. Charles Leclerc is stupid. Oscar Piastri is... And we're back. Max reminds his old teammate Carlos why one is in a Red Bull and one is in a Williams, after a record-breaking 6 red flags in qualifying, and Liam Lawson becomes the quickest Kiwi in 49 years.
It took them this long to beat some green furry balls?
Lando Norris reprised his role within Frank Green as he qualifies 7th, with Oscar only in 9th. Yuki also makes a surprise cameo into Q3.
Lando has always been the best bottler on the grid.
Oscar, with that great work ethic, got to work early off the line, then politely dropped to the rear to give Lando the best shot at evening things up. With Lando losing a spot straight away, Oscar was forced to take dramatic actions and retire from this event.
Oscar Keanu Reeves Piastri is a true gentleman built on humbleness.
With Piastri now assuming his favourite trackside position, we can race. I said we can race. Well, little racing ensues and pit stops are scarce as the medium tyre looks like it could do the whole race, and most drivers electing to wait for a VSC to not risk getting caught out. Once the race washes out, Liam becomes an honorary Aussie as he holds up Yuki, which holds up Lando. Sir Lulu was mere tenths away from also being assumed an honorary Aussie, but not to be, as he remains a Brit.
Liam, fucking good bloke Lawson, got defensive lessons from the 03-04 Pistons.
Max Verstappen collects his 6th Grand Slam, tying him with Hamilton, and Carlos takes 3rd. Car 4 collects 6 points as he erodes Oscar's lead to 25 with 7 races to go in the papaya battle.
I can't wait for Lando to crash in Singapore. You know, papaya rules and all.
Welcome, Box Bashers, to a new episode of Box Banter. This one on the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
As Baku, for us simplest like to call it.
It's funny, a lot of people over the week were asking, like, oh, you know, where's this round? Where's this race? And I'd say, like, Azerbaijan. Yep. And they'd just look at me with a blank stare.
Where exactly
like I sneezed. Yeah. And then I'd be like, oh, you know, Baku. Yeah. And then they're like, still just blankly staring. Yeah. And then they'll ask me, like, where is that? And then I'm like,
it's in Azerbaijan. I said that.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, you know, it's like,
it's over there somewhere.
It's like around Asia.
Yeah, one of them.
Around Europe.
Yep.
Up there. Yeah.
I think it's a touch scary. One of them ones.
It's funny. It's been on the grid for 6 odd years, I think.
On the calendar.
Yeah. Sorry, on the calendar.
I think. So Stroll, when was Stroll's podium? His rookie
was like
podium?
2017,
I want to say.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I reckon it was even it might have even been like, should have looked it up. Should have done a preview.
Yeah.
So I think it was 20. I reckon if I had to guess, I'd say probably 2015.
Yeah. So it's been on there for a minute. I still don't really know where it is.
Yeah, it's Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
What was it extended? Did I hear?
Yeah, till 2030.
Yeah. So it's getting a pretty good stint.
Yeah, I'm actually support that. There's probably tracks there that I don't think should get extended. I think this one, it deserves
It's a good street track, eh?
It is a great street track.
I mean, I feel like we talk a lot about, I do anyway, about Miami and Vegas and how they just that modern Formula One track layout, fast sweeping corners, long straights.
Plus the visual element of the city.
Yeah. This one's actually got a lot of your more generic street track stuff, 90-degree corners. It's 90-degree corner after 90-degree corner, which is very street track typical.
Yeah.
The other tracks don't really have that. You know?
No. It's very reminiscent in a very different way. Being in Australia and you know, having like the V8 supercars and stuff that do a lot of street tracks is very reminiscent of like Gold Coast, where you have like the high rises and then they're...
Or Adelaide.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go Adelaide as well, yeah. Where you do have those like 90-degree turns, but when you're on onboard and you're watching the footage, you know, I know the drivers are pros, but I'm like, how do they remember where to turn? Because there's so many like runoff areas and stuff. I'm like, how do they remember that, you know, you got to hit your braking point, but also turn the right corner, you know, not...
Yeah, I mean, it was actually pretty thrilling watching quali. Not the crashes, they were nice, but the good drivers, like watching Max, man, you're watching, you're like, oh, thought he was going to hit that wall.
Yeah.
Oh, thought he was going to hit that wall.
Yeah.
No, didn't even brush him.
It's a great track. It deserves its spot in the calendar. I look forward to it year on year. Azerbaijan this year didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. We could probably both agree on that.
I actually thought we were here to talk
Piastri
about
fans.
the New Hampshire race for NASCAR. I thought that's what we were here to talk about.
Oh,
I thought we pivoted.
Come on, I don't watch NASCAR. Are you kidding me?
I thought we were pivoting because of the way this race went.
No, I mean, the qualifying has been more entertaining than the race, which is just stereotypical of this season.
And probably this qualifying particularly longer than the race
Well,
event.
yeah. I mean, what did you say last week? I think it was last week or the week before.
It was Monza, the record-breaking
That's right.
race.
Yeah.
They do 3 hours of practice, an hour of quali. They do 4 hours leading up to an hour and 15-minute event.
Yeah.
In
So-
this case, they do... Qualifying shouldn't go longer than the Grand Prix. And it didn't in Monza,
No.
but at this track, with the chaos,
Yeah.
2 hours of qualifying...
Yeah,
For what was
unbelievable.
probably, I mean, what, an hour and a half, an hour and 25 probably race. I didn't take note of the clock when it was done, but
Yeah, I think, again, that's a symptom of modern F1. As soon as anything is just any kind of incident, they just throw the red flag now.
yeah.
Like,
I think they're all worthy in quali.
yeah, I mean, there were cars in walls, there's debris. I know they
Yeah.
got to fix barriers and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I know one of the commentators called out the red flag being a bit premature for Hulkenberg,
Mhm.
but I was like, his whole last spoiler was on the track. His whole front wing.
But I mean, something like that, surely that's fine for a yellow, right? You can
they
just have
don't
someone.
want- yeah, but they don't want... Like, you're wasting time at that point because not only do they have
True.
to pick the spoiler up, they have to sweep all the debris. So you
Yeah.
might have 2 minutes of cars have to slow into yellow or pit, obviously. But then you're just eroding into the time. So I
Yeah.
don't mind calling the red. Everyone resets. I mean, we're lucky because it was a 9 o'clock quali start. If it was 11, I probably would have gotten over it pretty damn quick. Like, come on, man. I just want this to end
Yeah.
so I can go to bed.
I know.
So that was nice.
Very selfish of Oscar, right? As Australian fans, we get a half decent viewing time
Yeah.
for the qualifying and for the race, and he clocks out early.
Yeah.
Like,
Both
what
days.
the
Both
fuck
days.
is this? You
Both
couldn't have,
days.
yeah, you couldn't have done this at one of the stupid 3 a.m.
Yeah.
tracks where it's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't stay up and watch
I
that.
might have gone to
you know?
bed and caught the 10-minute highlights just so we could get this pod out of the way.
He's so selfish.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Now, real quick, we're recording this a tad later than we usually do because
Incidents. Yeah.
incidents, yeah. And I've had getting over a cold.
Well,
Now, I just
you're
wanted to-
getting into a cold. I'm getting over a cold.
Yeah, I'm kind of midway through it. Yeah.
At times elapsing.
Now, yeah, I feel a little bit like George Russell, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm pushing on.
You kind of look like him.
Well, look,
Some say you're the pretty boy of this pod.
well, that's true. Yeah,
So,
yeah, that is
take
true.
that.
You are spitting facts. So,
Yeah.
now I did call Valtteri to see if he could stand in for me.
yeah.
He can get back to me in time.
Not in
so
time. No.
it's a shame, you know.
I'm
Unlike
guessing
George,
Azerbaijan, whatever mysterious point of the earth that is,
Wherever
pretty
that
far,
is,
pretty
yeah.
far away.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, unlike George, who didn't want to share his cockpit with Valtteri this weekend, you know, I was happy to let him take over the podcast and run it for me. But
That
you
would have
know,
been nice. I wouldn't have minded either.
yeah,
It's still sitting next to a sick fuck if George come in.
yeah, true. Okay, anything else that you want to touch on real quick before we move into the categories?
No, we can get straight into it and splurge there.
Yeah. Okay. Final boss of Azerbaijan.
Mhm.
Who are you awarding it to this weekend?
I'm awarding it to Max Verstappen.
Shocker.
Shocker.
What did he do to deserve that?
What did he do? Let's see. Out-qualified second place, Carlos by nearly half a second.
Check. And the only car to do so as well after the restart. Everyone else went slower. He was the
Yeah.
only one who went faster.
And by a margin,
Yeah.
mind you. Grand Slam. And he just controlled the pace.
That's 6 now.
6.
So he's tied with Hamilton for
Yeah.
Grand Slams.
It's nuts that they only have 6 between each.
Yeah, and like Hamilton has over 100 race wins, yeah. And he's in his late 60s now for race wins?
Who's that? Max?
Verstappen, yeah.
67.
67.
Yeah.
So again, shows how difficult
Well,
it is to get a Grand Slam.
10% of his races have been a Grand Slam, so maybe that's not so bad. Lewis is approaching, what,
When you
110
put it like that,
wins?
that actually sounds pretty good.
So Lewis is closer to 5%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Max also did it when his car, I mean, yes, it was dominant this weekend, but it hasn't been the dominant car this year or for the last 18 months.
Well, so they say.
So they say.
So they say. It's
Well, you think
starting
he's
to
sandbagging? He's like, let me just get 50 points behind in the championship. Let me
Yeah.
just get there, and
it's
then I'll
starting
really
to feel like
dig in.
gaslighting. You know, all year we don't have the car. We don't have the car. Yet Bro has out qualified the McLarens now. He's got 6 poles, so he's got more poles than the McLarens. And what's this?
That's pretty unbelievable.
That is crazy. Yeah, you're trying to tell me you don't have a good car and you've still put it on pole 6 times.
I mean, that's the driver. That's the driver in him, and I think that is where I don't know if we get into it heavy in Max's category, but I think Lando's got major issues. He's been in the sport long enough. The fact that he's still not able to piece a weekend together. He's not championship material. Oscar's only his 3rd year, but he's clearly still got a lot to learn to get to the perfection that Max is at. But he's got the years to do it. So I think Oscar has... If Lando doesn't get it this year, and he won't, but if he doesn't get it this year, like, he's out for the count. He's not getting one.
We'll save the Lando talk for another category. I'm sure that's going to come up somewhere.
Well, I don't
know. For me, I guess he's definitely not out of the championship. I mean, we've seen a bad weekend for McLaren and how many like such a big points haul that Max has clawed back. Now, there's only 7 rounds, so everyone assumes that McLaren is just going to finish 1 or 2, and in that case, Max doesn't really have a look in. It'd be a similar sort of circumstance to Norris last year when he was trying to catch up to Max. If Max is always going to finish 1st and 2nd, it's just not going to happen, right? Yeah. But if McLaren fumble a handful of these weekends closing out, absolutely Max is still within a shot at snagging this from them. Yeah. So I think for me personally, this comes down to... This is a bit of McLaren, like, fuck around and find out. You want to play these silly games.
I was going to... Again, we're stepping on things here, but that was my thought too. Like, we've said they don't have to back a driver because they've been in the clear. Yeah. If next race, if a similar situation kind of happens where they fall back into the pack ever so slightly and Max wins, they're going to have to seriously consider stop fucking around. Yeah. Because you've already found out.
Yeah. Do we now commit to one driver to secure this driver's championship?
This is going to be... McLaren have done this. McLaren have done this. They missed out on the championship in 07 because they let Alonso and Hamilton
just duke it out. Yeah.
And then look who come in from behind, Kimi Raikkonen, to take the championship. McLaren
Ferrari's
have done this before.
Yeah.
They're there and they're doing it again.
So there is an element of like, are they continuing to make past mistakes? Or
this is like almost different because they let the drivers take points off each other. In this case, McLaren are doing it. Well, it's worse this time because McLaren are doing it to themselves. They're enforcing these things to take points off each other.
That's what I mean. They're not learning from past mistakes. You've lost championships by playing it this way, and you can continue playing it this way. But I think at the end of the day, this is where my thought was going. At the end of the day, as long as Max Verstappen is on that grid, your chances of winning a world championship are significantly reduced. This season has proved it. I mean, from day dot, Red Bull haven't been confident that they have a car to beat McLaren. Yet 7 rounds into the end of the championship, here's Max having a sneaky look in.
Well, how far behind is he? Do you know?
He's 69 points behind Oscar, and he's 40 odd behind Lando.
Kind of safe from first, but don't forget, he got taken out in Austria.
Well,
there's a good chance he racks up 15 points there.
Yeah.
That's all of a sudden closer to a 50-point margin and a 30-point margin to Lando. That is where you start. So he's had a couple of things go awry.
Go against him, for sure. Yeah. So I think if McLaren, let's just say McLaren have a bad Singapore. And Singapore is a very difficult track. Things can easily go wrong.
And look what happened.
Yeah. And if Max snags another 25 points on them, all of a sudden, now you're looking back at the season going, all these things that we thought didn't matter, there was no threat. Yeah. It proves everything matters.
If he goes into Abu Dhabi and he's clawed his way back to being mathematically in contention, you got some dramas. You got some real dramas.
You're going to have to pick someone, right? You're going to have to pick someone to prioritize them to make sure you close that out.
And luckily for us, Oscar's got a 25-point lead going into this point where they might have to start thinking about consolidating one driver to ensure you get... I mean, they always say they don't care about the world drivers, but imagine the blow up. Imagine the uproar if all year it's been, we don't care about anyone else, we just want our drivers to have a fair competition with manipulated results to ensure fairness and they stay as close together. So instead of one streaking away to a 100-point lead over Max, they've kind of both stayed close and allowed Max to remain somewhat around. If it gets to it, obviously I'd rather Max win than Lando. I want Oscar to win. But if something blows up to that point, God, the uproar would be fucking fantastic
Yeah.
if they pissed it away.
I think, I think it just looks... It's funny. We're very conflicted because there was a time when I couldn't stand Verstappen. Just the way that he conducted himself, that young arrogance, being Ricardo fans, that was always a little bit dicey as well.
Yeah.
But now I watch him, especially this season, and I just almost watch him in awe. And like, Oscar's our guy, first and foremost. I mean, being an Aussie, we want to see him go on and have hopefully a lot of success in Formula One. And this season has been a huge breakout season for him. But I do watch Max, and I just think, who's going to beat this guy? He is just on a whole other level. Like, his ability to just, I think the qualifying is the biggest thing. No one could beat the initial laps that Sainz and Lawson set in a track that was very difficult condition-wise to pull any sort of performance from. And everyone faulted, including Lando, who had everything to gain. And who comes out on top? Max. He just doesn't fuck up. He just finds a way to make everyone else around him look silly.
I think he's humbled up a little bit.
He really
he's
has,
gone from, he knows he's still the greatest in the world, but he also loves that he can get it done without the best car. Yeah. He's clearly, you look at the constructors, that's the best point to look at. Red Bull are fourth. Like, it's nowhere as far as the constructor goes.
Team Verstappen, not Team Red Bull.
They're fourth, so far behind, but even a Mercedes where they've got two pretty good drivers, or one above average driver and then a rookie.
Yeah.
And they're doing quite well. And then look at Ferrari, two great drivers. No one has the car to compete with McLaren. But Max can go into quali
and get
it done.
I mean, I think, Max has won 2 weeks in a row, two very kind of different tracks. I know they say they're both kind of like low downforce.
I'd say they're very,
but
very different.
You sit there, we can sit here all day and say no one has the car like McLaren. But then McLaren is sitting there going, well, actually, Red Bull have a car. And 2 weekends in a row that they've pipped us.
Yeah, they brought some upgrade to Monza, and it scared clearly everybody.
Yeah. So, I don't know how much of those upgrades were pre-Lauren Meckies and his relationship with Max and what they've sort of figured out. But whatever they've done after that mid-season break, it's really reset them. And Verstappen just looks more vicious than ever.
And most of the tracks coming up from here on out are power tracks as well.
Yeah.
Big, long straights. All the American tracks, we've said it. Big, long straights. All the Arab tracks, everything is where you want the grunt and the power. And we saw the 2021 championship come down to that. They knew Mercedes going to that last 6 races, they want a fresh donk.
Yeah.
They took the risk by taking the penalty to get one.
Yep.
And we saw that play out as him just go on and just win the next 4 or 5, that next period of time to get himself into a point when we know what happened. But
it could happen. It really could.
Really could. Like, if McLaren keep letting Max get away and they keep squabbling amongst themselves. I mean, he had the car in Monza. We've talked about it. But there's no question. This race, you kind of go, who knows? Because the McLaren's put themselves out of contention in qualifying. So it's hard to get a clear grasp on what this weekend was, Max versus McLaren.
Yeah.
Next weekend will be a lot more interesting, and we'll see. I mean, I'd say Singapore's probably the least power requirements of the next 7.
Yeah, okay.
Like, definitely you want...
So it will be a true test
hot,
of like...
So it probably does favour McLaren a bit more, that how they
with the
they
tire
capitalise in hot temperatures.
Yeah.
And I think it is a bit more of a higher downforce track than a Baku. So it might swing the other way, but the 6 after that, if the Red Bull have really figured something out where they can just be decent in the corners, but then just fly down the straights, well, it's really going to be interesting. I think next race will be the real pivotal point. Yeah, if Oscar can go out and win it, or Lando, and the other McLaren's second, and Max is potentially 4th, 5th, and then all of a sudden that lead is out to...
it'll give him a bit of breathing room.
It would really blow it open that little bit more when all of a sudden there's only 150 points left. On the cards after that. So
okay, so Max Verstappen, the final boss of Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Now, who was the biggest noob of Azerbaijan? Who did you have?
I'll give this to Oscar.
I'm glad that you have, because I did think that you were going to give it to Lando, but I've given it to Oscar as well.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page, I think.
It's tough. I mean, I was very disappointed in him I Austria.
Yep.
For the clumsy move because it's out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain what happened this weekend. This was out of character. Doesn't sum it up.
I don't know who this phony was, but it wasn't Oscar.
Unbelievable, man.
I mean, fair enough. You make a mistake in qualifying, like that happens.
Well, he taps the wall in practice, and Lando did too, and probably lots of cars.
Yeah.
So a little mistake there, but you're pushing the limits, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But then come quali, you need to. You can't be.
Yeah.
You can't be crashing the car
especially
like
when
that.
you're fighting for a championship, right? Like there is a element of risk reward. Now he's got at the time a 31-point buffer, right? So basically the worst thing he could have done is put it in the wall and then gift Norris a chance at like, here, have a bag full of points
swing,
on me.
18-point swing. Either one would have been detrimental.
But luckily it was in Q3. So worst case scenario, he was going to be starting 10th.
And thanks to Charles binning it first, he actually was 9th. So it really wasn't the worst it could have been for him.
So you look at that and you go, oh, he kind of got away with that one. Like, at the time, we probably were thinking he could probably claw back 3-4 positions, maybe.
I thought both McLarens would be able to soar.
Yeah, maybe get back up to a podium and then, thankfully damage is mitigated. Now, come the race, just has an all-time moment on the start.
Well, I think I don't even mind that he retired the car because we saw the way that race planned out. Mm-hmm. As soon as he jumped that start, that would have been it. Mm-hmm. He was last. Cars couldn't pass.
Well, I
don't think he could have clawed back.
I disagree.
Lando finished 7th. Best case, he gets. I don't think he passes Hamilton in 8th.
Yeah,
I don't remember who was behind Hamilton. Maybe best case he gets to 9th. So I'm happy to say this weekend he threw away 2 points because of that crash.
Yeah, you could say best case scenario. I kind of disagree because Alex Albon had a dreadful weekend as well. He still finished 11th. He's still, after all his bullshit...
How many points does that pay? That's what I'm saying.
None, but what I'm saying is he still came from 20th and then had an incident as well.
That's right.
And still made his way back up to 11th. So if Oscar was, 10th...
Well, I think that's what I'm saying, 20th.
Or 9th, yeah.
20th. I'm saying after he jumped the start.
Yeah. But if he was 9th, I think... forget about Lando and his inability to pass certain cars. There's every potential that he could have past Lando and finish ahead of him.
Yeah,
but even with his start malfunction down in 20th, if he stayed in the race, he probably could have gotten into that 10th or 9th place and snagged another point or two.
Yeah. I agree. I think if he starts 9th, and we saw Lando straight away lose a spot off the start because that's what he does. I think there's a real chance Oscar does actually, especially with the way that transpired.
No one's talking about that either, by the way.
Yeah.
Losing a position to Hadjar straight away.
He does it all the time. Yeah. Like, it's unreal. I reckon there is a chance if he just starts the race like he normally does, he could potentially climb up the field. And I was actually really interested to see how McLaren play it. Do they go with what happened with Lando in Hungary? You just benefit from being out of place, and a strange strategy helps you out. And I was interested to be like, well, we saw George extend incredibly long and get that second place from it. And then Kimi had the alternate strategy, which kind of hurt him. So I was like, I want to see McLaren, how they play this to potentially benefit Oscar.
Once I stopped having a breakdown when I saw his name slip down to 20th, because, there's a moment where you don't know what's happened. You don't know if
I couldn't see him at the back then. I thought he'd actually passed some cars.
Yeah, well,
That's what I thought.
I thought he had a maybe an engine issue because, he had a PU problem. Yeah. So when I saw his name plummeting down the list, the last thing on my mind was that he jumped the start. Once they actually showed it and I stopped having a meltdown and breakdown, there was an element for me where I was like, all right, we get to see Oscar do some real racing here.
Yeah.
This will be interesting. Because racing at the front or on the top 3 is very different to making your way through a field full of rookies and young hot shots and stuff like that, where it's like, all right, you gotta be on it now. Yeah. So, but wasn't to be. No. So, I'm glad that we're on the same page, that we both give him the noob, because really he was the only car who DNF'd.
I mean, he claimed it himself, just rookie errors.
Hopefully it's all out of his system and moving forward. There's not going to be weekends like this anymore.
I thought for sure. I really was really comfortable. I would have put money that he was going to break the record of the most consecutive points finishes.
I thought
he's such a stable driver.
Yeah.
We've seen he recovered from his Australian mistake, but since then, just flawless. No issues, really,
even
really
after
in
the
control.
Qualifying issue, I thought, well, he's still on the points, so his everything still ticks over,
and
right?
he'd probably come forward, yeah.
Yeah.
I just, man, even when I saw him in the fence, I was like, oh, someone's binned him. Like, pretty disheartening seeing that he literally threw himself into the fence there. And even the escape roads there, you saw that tyre lock up.
Yeah.
As soon as he
just didn't pull
applied
out.
the brakes, and he just kept going. You're like, for a driver who's already been in the fence in that exact same way this weekend, literally, and again, in quali, you commit. In quali, you commit, and that's why he crashed.
Yeah.
In the race, especially after you've had that mistake off the grid, you feel your tyre lock up, and you've done this yesterday. Straighten up, get down the escape road. You know?
Yeah, lessons learned, and it really is a great escape for him because Lando did not capitalize on basically a golden opportunity
It would have been
to really
worse.
cement your place back in that championship fight. You know, and he can sit there all day long and say like he doesn't feel like he missed an opportunity. Bullshit. How many opportunities do you get with a championship leader? I mean, and he went through this last year with Max, where they're out. They're not scoring any points. Now, if you can get, like, the race win was probably off the table. But
We don't know.
well, I mean, look at how dominant Max was. But, you know, he definitely could have been at least fourth, maybe snagged a podium. I think we probably all expected that. It was very strange watching a race and watching him the whole time and just being like, basically hoping like, come on, hopefully he can't get the job done. And he couldn't.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was pretty nervous. I was sad when the way Yuki came out of the pits and he split, or Lawson was able to pass him. I was like, that was the absolute worst.
Yeah.
We needed that train to continue. Exactly. And because the Yuki came out and Lawson was able to get ahead of over a second.
Yeah.
Straight away, I was like, this is it.
Because he'll pip.
Charles won't be able to keep up with Yuki on his new tyres.
Yeah.
And they're not going to keep each other in a DRS train because Lawson's gone. And it's exactly what happened. Straight away, when you came out there, I was like, oh, this is just going to fuck everything up. They're going to spread and Oscar's going to be able to, Lando's going to be able to pip them off one by one.
Yeah.
But
I think
luckily it didn't
everyone
happen.
in the world probably expected him to, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So, okay. Who got the biggest buff this weekend?
Mercedes.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't have Mercedes anywhere in my notes, but I'm more than happy to duke it out.
Well, I forgot to fact check this, but I did see that at least with the live points, they moved up into second in the constructors.
I think they did over Ferrari. Yep.
I'll
I'll double check why you're going.
That's nuts. Obviously, Russell, like both of them had pace. Like this is a bit of a return to form a little bit from Kimi.
Yep.
On a tough track that he clearly struggled in qualifying with, but he managed to get it together. And yeah, they just had pace. I mean, how far behind did he finish? 12 seconds over a race that you say Max dominated.
Yeah.
George was in the field. He had to carve through the field, like a lot of stuff holding him up.
Plus,
And
you know, wasn't at peak physical health.
Yeah.
You know?
So for him to only be 12 seconds off the dominant car, coming back through the field, like they had some pace.
290 points. So second now.
Yeah.
4 points ahead of Ferrari.
Yeah. And no one saw that coming.
No.
No one. I mean, all weekend it was McLaren need to outscore Ferrari by 9 points. Like all they really, I know they kind of brought up other mathematical figures with Mercedes and Red Bull, but it was always Ferrari as the second place car. Like I don't think anyone expected them to lose second to Team George and a rookie.
I can see argument there. It was a nice bounce back. Russell probably put it the best out of everyone, where they just didn't make mistakes and they just capitalized on everyone else crumbling.
Even you know the way they played the Kimi, just box Kimi instead of team ordering it, like give him
Making
a different
it
strategy
awkward.
that can maximize his result. I don't remember where he finished fourth, maybe.
Yeah.
So like that's probably the best he had.
Yeah.
And he didn't have pace on Carlos at the end anyway, so that probably is definitely the best he could have got.
Yeah.
So I think they really maximised their performance this weekend.
Yeah, they definitely did. They ran the perfect strategy because there was a moment where I was like, I wanted to see Sainz get second, but I was like, nah, there's no way Sainz can probably keep Antonelli behind him, but there's no way he can keep Russell behind him, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like Mercedes ran the perfect strategy to give Russell the best chance to chase down Sainz, and then comfortably cleared him as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's funny. Pirelli brought steps off the tyres, and they were still way
still
too
meant
hard.
nothing, yeah.
Like the mediums dead set could have done the whole race.
no one's talking about the tyres enough. Like, I just feel, I know driver safety is paramount and tyres are a big part of that, but I just feel that Tyres are the number one thing that is ruining Formula One
Can
today.
literally make or break a race.
They're literally almost nullifying the need to pit stop. There's no strategy really involved in it.
And there's no drop off.
And
Like the
then-
undercuts. I mean, look at George overcut
Yeah.
Sainz by like 4 seconds.
Yeah. And then as we learned several weeks back, they're not intending to breaking out the wets at all because they just kick up too much spray. So then it's like, okay, so what are we doing here? You know, one of the most fundamental elements in Formula One is having no effect on the racing at all.
I mean, let me just say,
it's
like,
a real shame.
I've been watching a lot of NASCAR. They'll bring different tyres, different compounds of Goodyears, race to race,
Yeah.
in an attempt to spice things up.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, the race I watched, tyres were coming in with no tread. It was down to the wire.
Yeah.
Like, they went a little bit too soft.
Yeah.
But, like, Formula One do not adapt. Like, I'm guessing they go, here's your soft, medium, hards
Yeah.
for the year.
Mhm.
Like, we're not changing. And then come next year, maybe we'll rejiggle a little bit.
Yeah.
But they need to be more proactive. They need to go, all right, well, our tyres need to degrade more to have the ability to undercut and have a real speed differential for something on track to happen. And then look at this race and go, Singapore's probably a bit hotter. Maybe these tyres would be okay for Singapore, and maybe they'll degrade a bit. But they'll probably go a step harder for Singapore
Yeah.
to ensure the safety. But then you don't get the
nullifies
racing.
all of that. Yeah. It's a real shame. It's probably I think, in my mind, the number one thing that needs to change in Formula One. You know, when we've got a situation where it's very difficult to pass these cars, I know the regs are going to change next year, but very difficult to pass these cars. The tracks are narrow, where often your best chance at gaining positions is either through tyre strategy or wet racing, and you're essentially nullifying
Get
both
rid
of those two things.
Yeah.
Then it does become a case of what are we watching for, you know? And then it almost is a sport of qualifying where it's like, all right, you can watch qualifying, and then as we've seen so many races this season, you don't need to watch the race. Often the cars of where they're qualifying is pretty much where they're going to finish, outside of anyone making a mistake or a couple of weird, you know.
I mean, even Lawson, like he dropped from, where was he running? Third, and then he must have finished fifth.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But like him giving up track position, like he knew that car was probably never finishing third.
Yeah.
But he only lost that because he gave up the track position. He wasn't able to be on track defending the faster cars. They pitted him, got him out of the cycle, and he did a good job to finish fifth. But it was the strap, the tyres. But it's only because that car is a fucking AlphaTauri. It's not quick versus your Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of Lawson coming up in another category. But
so, who's your buffed anyway?
My buffed, I gave this one to Carlos Sainz. So, I know you're saying that Williams have been doing this all year round. It's
I wouldn't expect him to finish on the podium. I've got him elsewhere, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's really a toss-up between our two categories of sweaty, try-hard, and...
I don't have him there.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, okay. So...
There was a lot of positivity from this race, which is rare, because normally I struggle to feel the positivity, and I got a lot of shit kickers.
Yeah.
This race was like, a lot of people
Well, this show's called Box Banter. A lot of the time we are just talking shit about people's inability, but, you know...
Like, this year, it's been like, shit on Sainz, because he's done terrible. Shit on Lawson, because of who he is. Etc. But then this race, these people performed. So,
Yeah, I think this is why I'm giving it to Sainz. Like, Mercedes are really where Mercedes should be, right? You could argue Williams didn't really have any business being on a Azerbaijan podium right now, especially Sainz. So he snags a podium before Albon, and he snags one before Hamilton in his old car. You know, like that alone is just hilarious, considering how rocky his season has been. He jumps up 6 points in the championship, and he doubles his points as well. He went from, I think he was on 16 points, and he snagged 15 from this, so doubled his points. So he had, this is both him and Williams, I think this is where I commend them. They had an opportunity, and they took it, and then they were they had the driver that could basically hold on to that opportunity. He dropped one spot to Russell, and that was always going to be a tough battle, but he held on, did everything right, and got that third place. And, you know, that was Williams' first actual Grand Prix podium since 2017, not including that weird Spa.
Yeah, that was the first full proper race podium.
Huge. You know, we said, one of the first things that we said at the beginning of the season was, how good would it be to see Williams return to some form of glory? And now here they are on the podium. You know, over the last 10 years...
And he did look out of place, right?
Yeah,
Sainz sitting in that cool-down room with George Russell and Max Verstappen, it just seemed right.
It couldn't have happened to someone better, honestly. Like someone who has really had a very strange relationship with Formula One. And he's only 30. He seems like he's been there a lot longer. But he's only 30, so he's in his prime. I think this sort of shows that...
His problem is he's running out of teams.
He's running out of teams. Yeah, he's gone through half the grid.
Yeah.
I think this shows that like teams like Red Bull and Mercedes who turned their nose at him for whatever reason when he was a free agent, and Williams collecting him, and it did seem like Sainz was maybe the more skeptical one. I think it shows they've made the right choice. They have someone who's very calm and composed, has a lot of experience. He's a Grand Prix winner. He can help that team build that forward momentum. And who knows what happens next year? Like, who knows if they slot into one of those big three, big four as we're going to be winning Grand Prix.
As far as momentum goes, it's pretty nuts that the last year of the regs, they've continued to develop the car enough, or others have backed off. Who knows? But
they've even said that all their focus has been on next year's car. They haven't really been doing
So
too
maybe
much
others are as well, but they've been able to just tick away. You don't know the situation, but it's momentum.
Yeah,
and they will have learnt something from this year to take into next year. Because although the regs are changing, like aerodynamics don't alter the way wind works. That's what it's like. They'll learn something from the car and be able to adapt it to the new regs and they've clearly made a huge step this year. I'm happy to give it to you because I guess, like you said, Mercedes should be second there and the constructors in second now.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have given it more to Antonelli, but he's probably not a buff because he's been doing it to himself for the last 10 races.
Self-inflicted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I do have Carlos elsewhere, but that's probably where he belongs. So, James Vowers and the commentators said it. This race, we're 15 races into the season. This race right here is the reason why they had brought Carlos Sainz on. It just took him 15 races to show it.
Yeah.
You needed that calm driver who's able to just get the job done and capitalize when the opportunities are there. That's exactly what he did.
Because oftentimes, right, you got this is one of those rare races where you've got, both the McLarens are out of position, both the Ferraris are out of position, Red Bull are fighting with one hand behind their back. So there is a lot of opportunity on the table on a race like this. And he was there.
I mean, it even took, like you said, Ferrari, they stuffed up the qualifying situation for Hamilton.
Yeah.
Took him out.
Yeah.
Charles stuffed himself up, took himself out. The McLarens, like you just said, there's 4 cars that should pretty much be
guaranteed
in that top
6.
10. In that top sort of 6 positions. And he just did the job,
No. Good on Carlos Sainz, getting our buffed award.
For sure.
Nerfed. I'll let you go first.
McLaren.
I have the same thing written down. There you go.
How good is this?
Yeah. This is where
we're in sync this weekend.
Yeah, it's nothing but positive vibes.
Yep. Yeah. For a lot of reasons. Oscar aside, they just didn't seem to have. They didn't have the pace that everyone was expecting them to have. But even little things like the pit stop.
Yeah.
Another bungled pit stop. And I loved it because they brought up, and because I think Karun said it. Oh, they got the fastest pit stop of the season. Don't forget where that happened and what that led to.
Monza, which was essentially nullified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So good on them for that.
Yeah.
Real good job. Pit crew. This is the more norm McLaren pit crew. This 4-second stop pit crew.
Yeah.
They've done this a lot this year. They've done a lot more of them than sub 2-second pit stops.
Yeah.
And when they do the sub 2-second pit stops, it doesn't fucking mean shit. This is the McLaren that we've seen more often than not. And it literally, and I agree with them, that it cost him 3 spots.
Yeah.
He comes out and does what Yuki does and is able to split those cars at least. He's got a lot better chance of just passing the one car in front of him with no DRS with his fresh tyres.
I think that's why we have to give it to McLaren as a team, right? Because
that's what I'm saying.
You got Oscar, who just was on the back foot right from the get-go and just had a dreadful weekend. And that's all him. That's probably all driver related. I know he had a power unit issue that then affected his FP1, let's say, development and confidence. And so just right from the get-go, it was
probably a lot of confidence track. You want to be logging the laps.
100%.
Yeah.
So, exclude him, but then you have that situation there where Norris was struggling to move through the grid. He did what he really had to do to try and get that undercut, and then he's let down by the team.
Well, they were waiting on a safety car.
Whilst we personally were cheering, it does sort of show that, McLaren couldn't capitalise on an opportunity that was presented to help their driver. Yeah. And then, he was stuck there in 7th.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. I was going to say earlier, I forgot. This 6 points, it's funny because it would have done more damage if Lando won and Oscar came second. There would have been more damage to the championship.
It's kind of hilarious.
Even though we would have been like, well, that's what we expect. One of them's going to win, the other's going to come second.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Like,
This was a more positive result.
literally, Oscar DNFing
Yeah.
and what's happened in the race has led to a better outcome for Oscar than him coming second to Lando.
It really, truly is the great Oscar Piastri escape.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we've been talking about luck. And I'm scared because he's kind of used it 2 races in a row.
Yeah.
A bit of luck here. Lando's had luck the first half of the season, like a lot of luck.
Yeah.
And probably to greater effect. These 2 races, I do consider it pretty lucky for Oscar. We spoke about the events in Monza and how that effectively just lost him 3 points, luckily. And then this race was catastrophic from the start. He might as well not have been there this weekend.
well, yeah.
And he gets away with 6 points. So, like, back to back, he's gotten away with a little bit.
It was like he's a driver who's very famous for not really showing any emotion, but there was definitely a lot of emotion on his face. I think he knows he fucked up big time, and then at the end of it, he did get away with it. And we don't really know what that reaction is like. We've only seen him on the side of the track, maybe contemplating things.
That was not a happy sight.
No, he definitely looked like a man that was like a little bit rattled, very upset with himself. And it was good to see, I think, because, one of our big talking points last week or last race week was, are we putting too much pressure on Piastri? And he looks like someone who isn't really affected by pressure.
Yeah.
But then you have a weekend like this and it's like, was it pressure? Was it pressure all of a sudden that he had an issue in qualifying? And then that pressure mounted up into him jumping the start, being eager to try and make up for that mistake. And then that led to him putting it in the wall, being like, shit, now I'm 20th. Like, God, I got to make my way through the whole field.
Yeah.
And then bins it in the wall. Like, was that just a momentum
Snowball.
of pressure that just, came out in the worst possible way? And essentially he gets to get out of it, like you said, in a situation that was better than if they would have finished 1-2, him being second.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a snowball effect if he's like, I need to make up for lost time and quick. Go around the outside of 2 cars.
he basically approached the race how I approach racing F1 on the video games, where, oh shit, I'm 20th. Let me see if I can pass 5 cars in turn 1. And then
exactly.
you bin it and you're like, man, I had 30 laps to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Any other points on NERFED?
No.
No. All right. Sweaty tryhard of Azerbaijan. So this is where I put Liam Lawson.
Same.
Great.
Yeah.
This is great. So initially I was going to put him in buffed because the week before we put him in nerfed. Now,
yeah.
so
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, it was only sort of fitting that he went from the sorry, not nerfed, noobed.
That makes more sense.
It was only fitting that we put him as the biggest noob of Monza, just to then be, getting the
buffed.
biggest buffed in Azerbaijan. So, but with the Williams thing and all that, sweaty tryhard felt more.
That's what I
fitting.
mean. Like, we've only got 3 positive categories up for grabs generally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positivity this week.
So, first of all, it was nice to see a lot of the Kiwi fans come out in his defense hard when we noobed him in Monza. And he did deserve that noob in Monza.
I agree.
I think maybe people don't understand the full context of, like, it's not noob for the whole Formula One.
No.
It's just noob for that round.
This is
and
the problem with shorts and TikTok. Is that people don't encapsulate
you don't get the full
everything
context,
we're talking
right?
about.
Yeah.
So for the NZ fans, great to have you on board. Great to have you seeing the shorts, but
And caring about your countrymen being in the pinnacle of motorsport and having a good crack at it.
I mean, that's probably the biggest reaction we've had. And it was people coming to defend Liam Lawson. And I get it. It's scarce having a Kiwi in the sport.
Yeah.
And we do the same for any Aussie. You don't talk shit about my boy.
No.
So it's great.
And like,
So
once,
take this
once
one
he's a Grand Prix winner, then we'll definitely,
Once.
when he, well, I mean, assuming he gets one. Well, hang on, let me finish my point.
Big assumptions.
Assuming he gets a Grand Prix win, then he can be an honorary Australian, and we'll gladly accept him on board.
Well, I've kind of got him on board for this race, and then I'm happy to revoke it.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is,
Singapore.
we'll Russell Crowe him, and
But what else you got? Is that it?
You got another example? Throw it out.
Yeah, Bruce McLaren. We'll give him. He's an honorary Australian.
Yeah. Now I tell you what. I was actually really excited at the prospect of seeing a Kiwi on the podium. They did throw out a figure like the first time in
50 years, I think
50 odd years, 49
Don't
years.
get me wrong, if we didn't have an Australian, Liam would be my guy. Unfortunately, he kicked out my Australian. So he's really at the bottom of my barrel.
Yeah. But anyway, getting onto the
Back to the
sweaty,
positive.
the sweaty try hard thing of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really well done. Again, he had an opportunity in qualifying. He took it, but then he held his own in the race. Like, I know he lost 2 positions, but that was probably like the most he really like. Well, he probably should have lost one to Yuki. Realistically, Yuki's in the bigger team with the better car, and he kept Yuki behind him.
He fought Yuki harder than he probably would have fought.
Yeah.
Lando.
Oh, 100%.
As an example.
Yeah. He kept the 2 Ferraris behind him, and he kept Lando Norris behind him. So I think he can be very proud with how he went. And actually, I'll go a step further. Hadjar was behind him, and Hadjar's had his ticket all season and kind of made him look a bit silly. And everyone's been talking about how Hadjar's going to be in the Red Bull next year, and that probably still looks likely. But Lawson came out and showed that he's still fast. When he's not making silly mistakes, he has great racecraft. He didn't put it in the wall. He didn't make any...
And that's the thing we spoke about in Monza. His racecraft all year has been the problem. But this race, and he had to do a fair bit of hand-to-hand combat in that last 20 laps especially, and he didn't...
With no DRS too.
Yeah, and he didn't, have bad racecraft. He didn't defend late. He didn't move under braking. He didn't push anyone off the track. They never got close enough to do that. But he really did...
He stayed level-headed.
Run a good defensive race, which starting... third in an AlphaTauri, like a defensive race is all you got.
Yeah.
And he done it well.
Like, you're not going to probably pass Sainz in the Williams or, Max Verstappen in a Red Bull. You're probably not on for a race win, and I'm sure that
Lawson in an AlphaTauri is not passing Max Verstappen in a fucking in a
Red Bull
steak.
No matter how much you try and convince us it's a tractor.
Sauber. He's not passing him in a Sauber, let alone in a Red Bull.
Yeah. So it was very, very good to see that of him. So
yeah. So there you go, Kiwi fans.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We got you one.
All right, your trash, bro.
So I've given this to the safety car rules.
Okay.
I'm really sick of seeing, and I get why they do it, but that top 5 stayed out purely just for in case there's a safety car. And again, it kind of goes to the Pirelli tyres. They could just keep going. Max was the last to pit.
Yeah.
Unlocked him the Grand Slam, but he did it to cover off a safety car. And because the tyres held in long enough. That's all these cars were doing. Why do you think Lando ran? He must have ran 70% of the race on mediums.
Yeah, it was like 30 mid-30 laps.
Yeah. I mean, if the virtual safety car came out, and on a track like this, it's probably quite a high chance. I mean, it happened on lap 1.
Yeah.
If that comes out, Lando's 4th.
Yeah,
that easily.
Yeah.
Max consolidates his win. Everyone consolidates their position without having to race or run a strategy. So I'm real sick of the safety car stuff. Like, I get it, again, it's in the name of safety. Yeah. But for 72 years before they brought this rule in, it was always race back to the pits when the safety car comes out. They need to alter the rules where it's double yellows in the corner wherever a car is having an issue.
Yeah.
So you can race around and then you have your delta. So instead of losing 20 seconds of track time and cars can pit for free, you lose 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Slow down 3 seconds through this sector where the car is.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. Like, they're literally altering results. And it didn't happen this race, so I'm probably getting ahead of it. But this is the racing we're watching. I'm sitting there the whole race like, come on, Lando, pit. Because I'm like, I don't want to see you benefit from this bullshit because this is the luck you've been having, by the way.
Yeah.
But also, I want to see you get back into the pack. I want to see racing. I want to see those drivers who haven't pitted yet have to get back to their rightful positions and see if they can earn it on track.
You're right. At the end of the day, you want to see racing. I mean, it was a dull race. And it was probably a good thing for Piastri in his championship bid that it was a dull race. But, after all the calamity in qualifying, how was the only incident Oscar in turn 3 putting it in the wall?
All by himself. As well.
All by himself, yeah. No safety cars. Like I said, everyone just hanging out because they could. The tyres hung on to run essentially like a slow race.
Yeah.
And just...
what they need to make the tyres wear... We used to get races where it's 2-3 pit stops. Like, it seems these days it's always a one-stop race.
Yeah.
Always. They need to... Yeah. That's the thing. Make the tyres as soft as you can, knowing you've got heaps of sets.
Yeah.
So, oh, shit, we went a bit too far. That's okay. We've got more tyres, man. You're just going to have to pit an extra time and everyone's going to have to, or you risk blowing it like we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
This is what they need to go towards. So, at least if they're going to keep these safety car rules, you might only get one benefit when you need to pit more than once,
I agree.
You have one pit stop. There's a good chance, especially on a track like this, it'll get covered by VSC anyway. Imagine if Max was like, let's just split the race in half, keep it simple. And then he pits, and then there's a safety car, and then he just loses the race from
And then that gives someone like a Sainz or a Lawson a chance at an actual Grand Prix win, you know, over Verstappen, who they would never usually be able to to compete
I
with.
just think it's trash.
Yeah. All right, mine, I nominated Alex Albon. So I think you look at what Carlos Sainz did, but you also look at the pace of the car, and he wasted a good car this weekend. He made a very, very rookie error in clipping that inside corner.
One of the rookiest.
Like, come on, what are you doing?
Hitting the insides.
Did you just get bored all of a sudden? Did you?
Well, he said, you know, he didn't anticipate the grip, and the car just turned. Like the car was too good.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, he had wasted a good car. The car was better than he expected. It just did what he wanted it to do, which I guess is a rarity for that car.
Had a bit of a clumsy overtake attempt on Colapinto, which got him a time penalty, which dropped him because he finished 11th, but I think then after the time penalty it was 13th. So, you know, clearly, again, when he was at the back of the grid, he was able to make his way through the fields and finish 11th. Big miss for him, I think. Yeah. And Williams, like, we're talking about the momentum that they have, and Sainz took a golden opportunity for them.
Because they were talking about.
But they should have come out of this weekend with double points.
Yeah, they showed two cars in Q3. I mean, I remember the commentators saying how much pace they had when he crashed in quality. It was like, we were talking about these cars being up first 2-3 rows. You know? And all of a sudden he's out in Q1.
So big miss, and it just goes to show just one little lapse of concentration or whatever you want to call it, whether he had more grip. Everyone else managed, you know.
Well, not everyone else.
No, but I mean, like, not to like that corner.
But that's what they say. They say, and it makes sense what he's saying is you turn the car in where you return the car in every lap. Yeah. And we saw Max quality lap. They showed he turned in and then he turned back
and then
out.
Had to
straighten turn back in again because again it's like, well, the grip's better than he expected.
What is it? Why couldn't Alex do that?
Because he's a dum.
I'm happy to concede because the lack of racing hurt, and I think at the end of the day, Alex is still a great driver, and Williams are going to still continue to probably do good things for the rest of the season. But in a race where they could have really capitalised, he missed a big opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
So
this is why I have him elsewhere.
Okay. Hard luck.
That's where I have Alex Albon.
I had a feeling. Yeah.
So yes, very self-inflicted this race. I've got him in hard luck because I feel like he's had a great body of work.
Yep.
He's had 15, 16 races where he's amassed 80 points and he has just put Sainz in his place.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this
just
one
for Sainz to pip him on the podium first
is going to overshadow it.
Yeah.
It's going to go from, wow, look at this great work Alex has done. But then now you have Sainz. Everyone's going to remember he got the podium.
Oh, it's
the highlight at the end of the year when they look back at the highlights, it's going to be Sainz on the podium.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Alex constantly finishing 6th, 7th. You know? It's going to be Sainz on the podium. And that's what people are going to remember. Like, oh, shit. Like, everyone remembers Stroll on the podium, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing. Oh, wow. Sainz got a podium in a Williams last year. That's nuts. Like, and even though he's going to finish probably with half the points of Albon, the podium is what everyone's going to remember. And it's effectively going to overshadow the fact that Albon has managed to wheel his wagon pretty well this season. Yeah. So that's why I've got him in hard luck.
All right, I agree 100%. I gave hard luck to Fernando Alonso because he was undone by Piastri's jump start.
Yeah, well, you know, you're only, it's a strange excuse. Yeah. The lights are there for everyone to see.
Yeah. I was talking about this with someone yesterday because...
How good's the reaction time, though?
Oh, yeah.
It is impressive. Like, I was watching the same thing. You're like, well, he must have just been watching the McLaren.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a trust thing. Like, oh, I've got a good driver in front of me as opposed to, like, Stroll. Mm-hmm. So he's like, maybe I'll just watch him. But then you see, like, the reaction time is nuts.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows that these guys are superhuman. Like, I know that it's his mistake because he should be watching the lights and not other cars. But how do you not react? As soon as you see another car move, how are you not just bang, let that clutch go and see you later?
It's the car behind Alonso. Yeah. Like, that really killed it by not jumping. Especially seeing two cars go.
Yeah, if half the grid jumped because of that, But he was the only one caught out. But I still think, that's unlucky. I mean... Someone made a mistake and you kind of got baited into it. So,
we used to have a baiting trophy. Bring it back. Yeah. Bring it back just for Lando. Yeah. Fernando.
I'm happy to give this to Alex because I think, that you bang on. That's a great point where he's had a really good season. He's been over Sainz the whole season. Yeah. But this one event will potentially overshadow him now.
His body of work.
Yeah. All right, AFK. I'll go first. In a race that there really wasn't much drama or anything, it was probably hard not to give this to Alpine as where the fuck were they? and what the hell are they
Besides
doing?
pitting on lap 1 and then lap 2. That was their play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another rough weekend. I think I'm really just disappointed in Alpine. Just probably in Flavio's handling of everything. The team is just looking like a joke at the moment. I know that all the focus is probably on next year. Now, I know that Gasly's their number 1 guy and his seat's safe for now. But what are they doing with that second seat? I mean, you gave Jack 5 races to try and make something of it. And Colapinto just keeps falling short time and time again.
Yeah.
But then he's doubled down. He's come out recently and said next year it's only between Colapinto and that other kid from F2 who's in the waiting
So Jack's
bay.
out of it now.
Apparently Jack's out of it entirely. But I just look at it and I'm thinking, based on what?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know what Jack does now. I don't know if he looks for another drive somewhere else or if he changes categories. It looks unlikely that he's probably ever going to get back into Formula One now. But I still look at the situation. I just think, wow, like what is the go with?
I mean,
Franco
look at this.
Colapinto?
Look at qualifying.
Yeah.
Like, you can say, there's a car down the escape road. Doesn't matter. Yellow flags are yellow flags. Like, crashing under yellow is incredibly frowned upon by the FIA.
He shunted hard in that wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it got airborne and everything. So.
I bet you, I don't know if he did, but as soon as I think I texted you, I said, he's going to blame Pierre for that. He's going to be like, he put me off. The yellows mean slow. The yellows mean, under all circumstances, you just got to bail because you can't.
It's not a good
go.
look,
You're not allowed. So not only did you not bail, you fucking crashed.
And a decent one.
A good whack,
I think he blamed it on a tailwind, but you can't use that as an excuse. Like,
it's yellows stamp on the brake. The yellows are well before the corner. So he still clearly attacked the corner.
Everyone has to deal with tailwind, right?
Yeah.
So that's what frustrates me most is you look at an error like that. And you can argue that that's just as poor as leaving DRS open for a high-speed corner. But
no, because of what yellows went out.
No, but everyone knows you don't leave DRS when you're trying to corner.
It worked in the sim. Come on,
it worked.
Cut him some slack.
Chat GPT said it would work, and I believed them.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be smarter than us.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, just where the fuck are they? Honestly, what are they doing?
Yeah. I mean, even their great strategy of. I mean, I don't even know. Did it work? Did the hards go the whole way? And that really goes into your AFK selection.
I didn't see anything more.
No one knows. Yeah, he pitted on lap 1 to put the mediums on, pit on lap 2 to put a new set of hards on, or the same set. Who knows? To go to the end, and then but we don't even know. Did it work? Did he get positions? Did he have to pit again?
Yeah,
I'm sure it went to the end because the mediums could have. But
yeah, they wouldn't have had pace.
Are they trying to save money on the mediums? Like I don't understand what. Strange.
Who'd you give this to?
So I gave it to Carlos.
Okay.
Again, I had to swing. I'm swinging this AFK into a positive here.
Right.
He had to have a race of this nature. Quiet, no bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even have to race George. Didn't even have to get into that conflict.
Yeah.
So that's how, we've got a lot of positives in this race. So I had to, where am I going to fit Carlos here?
Yeah.
This was the last one I could swing into a positive
I don't think
notion.
you could turn AFK into a positive category. I think
you can. It's almost like if Max didn't win the race and the pole was so good, you didn't see Max. It's the same thing with Carlos.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give this up because I'm like, I needed to find a way to clearly put Carlos in here.
Yeah.
AFK in a good sense where, as far as the coverage goes and whatnot, you didn't hear from him.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see him. He didn't have to race anybody. He literally let Max drive away.
Yeah.
He gapped Lawson behind. Even though we lost second, he didn't have to do that battle on track.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed out of everyone's way, out of everyone's hair. Literally just drove 52 laps on his own as shit around him was unfolding.
Yeah.
And that's the type of race he needed, and they needed for him to consolidate that third place.
He did a good race, but I'm taking the win on that one.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm awarding Sainz AFK. Okay, Easter egg. So this category is a stat or fact from the weekend that you were impressed or amused by.
Yep.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yep. So I'm sure you would have seen this. It's bright and all over the race spiel.
Yep.
Max has led more laps than Lando this year.
Wow, that's something, isn't it?
That puts a staple. That's more telling about Lando than anything else.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, that shows. I just want.
And again, this is supposed to be someone who's not in championship contention and has a terrible car.
But you know why? You know why Max has led more laps than Lando, even though Lando's only 25 points behind the championship?
Papaya rules.
How many laps did he lead in Silverstone? Because he didn't win that race on merit.
Yeah.
Maybe 10, maybe 15. How many laps did he lead in Hungary? Because he didn't lead the first half because he got the undercut benefit.
Yeah.
How many races has he won from not leading from the start or being in contention, but something happening to give him the race. And all you need to lead is the last lap. So if he's got 6 wins this year, I don't know how many he's got, 5, 6. They're not from and this stat shows it.
Yeah, it goes into what we were saying earlier.
Does Max have? You should look up real quick. I don't know how quick it'll be, but does Max have the same amount of wins as Lando now? He must be within 1 or 2 of him.
Yeah, either they must be tied or
I mean, Oscar must have 7, and that leaves 10 up to spare.
I'll see if I can quickly find
There
it.
must be 6 and 4. I reckon Max might have 4 and Lando might have 6, but that is definitely more telling for Lando.
Okay, so I will try and look this up real quick as
Oh, you can have
well.
it?
But
Damn.
my Easter egg, I'll give you my stat.
Mm-hmm.
Sainz gets a podium with Williams, Ferrari, and McLaren now. The only other driver to do so is Alain Prost.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
That is a cool stat to have. Now, it's a shame that he's not a world champion like Alain Prost. I think
He probably never will be.
I think
Let alone a 3 or 4 time.
yeah, I think that stat doesn't quite have the same weight to it as someone who is a
I mean,
Formula
the thing
1
is,
world champion.
Prost is going to be the only driver who's got to win with those 3 teams.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
That's the next level.
If it,
It's not just podium.
a win is a whole nother kettle of fish, isn't it?
I mean, I think as well, because I did see the stat and I've been thinking about it. It'd even be in the same order. McLaren,
as the
Ferrari,
first win, yeah,
Williams.
yeah, right.
Same
there you
for
go.
Sainz, McLaren, Ferrari, Williams.
So there's like an added degree of difficulty on there.
Yeah, they both did it in the same order.
Okay, I'm going to go through the race winners for the season so far, and then you can count them off.
Oh, Jesus.
You just count Norris and Verstappen.
Yeah. I'll do a tally. How's that sound?
So Norris won Australia.
Yep.
Piastri won China. Verstappen won Japan. Then Piastri went on his triple header. So he won Bahrain, Saudi, and Miami.
Oh, a great time of year.
Yeah, that was good. Can we go back? Then Verstappen won Emilia Romagna.
Mm-hmm.
Norris won Monaco.
Yep.
Piastri won Spain. Russell got Canada.
Shit.
Yep.
Forgot about
Then
that.
Norris went back to back in Austria and Great Britain, if you can call it that.
Yep.
Piastri won Belgium. Norris won Hungary. Piastri won Zandvoort.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the back-to-back wins by Verstappen in Italy and Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
So-
Norris and Verstappen tied on 5.
There you go. And
Piastri
then
with 6.
Piastri with 6, yeah.
Jorge with 1. That's nuts. I mean, there you go. No one talked about that all weekend. Not only Verstappen's led more laps,
So,
he's got the same amount of wins as Norris in the best car, and he's only 1 behind Piastri. Like, that's actually a scary prospect.
yeah, and then I guess everyone's kind of now recognised that Red Bull's provided some upgrades that everything's on now. These
He
last
could end
7
up winning
races,
more races than these McLarens and not win the championship. Is a very real prospect.
Yeah.
Their pace now.
I tell you what, this season is shaping up to come down to the very end, and it is going to be interesting.
It might be a 3-way battle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's far-fetched to think Verstappen can come back. If you said it's 70 points effectively to Piastri,
Yeah.
the win will be tough.
Yeah,
He could get in between them, though, or be mathematically
well, that's his
in
best
the
shot,
chance.
right?
Yeah.
Is splitting them.
Yeah.
But again, it really only takes 1 to 2 DNFs, and you're right back up in that picture.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, how's that? A little bit of live figuring out the podcast on the go.
Yeah, we managed it without malfunctioning.
Yeah,
so. Okay, final category, and then we'll move into the Sunday session.
Yeah.
So the side quests. So usually it's a story or headline that came from the week.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one is pretty much brand new, and because we recorded this a bit later, I was able to sneak it in. But
nice.
Horner is officially out of Red Bull entirely now, and it was just paid out $100 million too.
Oh my goodness.
So now, as far as
What was his contribution in the last 2 months? Then?
So I think he was still So I think he's actually contracted to Red Bull. So he was fired. So they had to work out how much do they pay him out for his contract.
Yeah.
I don't know when he was contracted to if it was 2030 or whatever. But he got a little bit of the Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo treatment.
They're paying
himself.
a lot of money to
for people not to be there, which I think speaks a lot, right?
Yeah.
You know, we know why they paid out Sergio and Ricciardo, because they didn't want them there and pay them out and get rid of them. But although I guess they didn't really pay out Ricciardo, did they?
I don't know. Surely his contract didn't just end in Singapore.
Yeah,
He must have had
that's
6
true.
races left on his contract.
Yeah. But, you know, they don't want him in that Red Bull
It's probably just wasted
operation
space
at
for
all.
such a big
Well,
figure. to be around is probably not good.
Well, I think he had other roles within Red Bull. He wasn't just the team principal.
Race team, yeah.
But it is interesting that they have taken the stance of like, we don't want you a part of the organisation at all anymore.
How could
Which
you not?
does then, I think, say something else has gone on. You know, how do you have someone a part of an organisation for 20 years and bring you so much success? And
I think if you cut
and not
ties with your big wig, the biggest figure, the most influential figure, I think if you cut ties with them, you can't do it half-assed.
So you're saying it makes sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that he wants to go on and maybe do something else in Formula One. So he's probably just as equally wanting to be out of it as them.
I just don't think you can go, you've run this ship single-handedly for 20 years. You're the youngest ever to do it. You've been probably one of the most successful team principals in that time period. Things are going awry just ever so slightly and we're getting rid of you. But it's all right. You can keep developing shit in the background. It wouldn't work
with Meckies, you know, and undermining.
Because even that, Meckies being the team principal for the junior team, Horner's going to have no respect for him.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to... He's not going to stand in line behind Meckies.
Wouldn't it be funny if they're like, sorry, Horn Dog, we don't want you in the big team anymore, but there is a spot for you on Racing Bulls if you want to take.
Be funny.
If you want to take that one,
Yeah.
Just kind of like what they've done.
I hope Meckies had to give him
their
his marching
drivers.
orders. Meckies sat him down. Listen, Chris, mate.
Yeah, he had a good run.
This is the deal.
Yeah, you had a good run. We all acknowledge and respect that. But you know,
Thanks for all the
good
work
things
you've
must
done,
come to
but
an
I'll
end.
take it from here.
Yeah, good for him to already have 2 wins as well.
Racking
So,
them up. Quick.
good on him. Your side quest.
So, I love this section for just clickbait.
Yeah, good.
F1 world turns on Piastri over one word.
Oh, okay. What's the word?
I read the whole article. I don't know.
There was so they didn't even include the word.
No, I don't know what it was. It was a lot of. I think the word might have been
Papaya.
no. That's why. Yeah, it was a lot to do with. I think it was like effectively deserving. Is he the deserving? If he was to win it, is he deserving? And they were playing a lot like they've got the best car. Effectively, the whole story was they've got the best car. Mm-hmm. Does that make him deserving of a world championship? Because the last 10 years have been won by 2 drivers who are going to be in the GOAT conversation. Top 5 drivers in history have won the last.
What a terrible
10.
fucking article.
I know. Because I was going through the news. I was like, oh, what can I pick? And I love that because you get some niche bullshit. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just scrolling. I found this one. I was like, oh, what's the word? There was no one word. But then there was a lot. I was actually getting pretty angry, worked up reading it. I had to turn it off because they were including people tweeting, and it was a lot of Oscar hate because it didn't make sense.
And that will only really come from the Norris camp because outside of the Norris fan base, everybody I think recognizes what a talent Piastri is, and they respect how he conducts himself as well.
I mean, if he wins it this year, apologies, as a third-year driver, how many third-year drivers have gone on to win the championship?
Yeah, it wouldn't be many.
Hamilton, 50, 51, 52, those 3 years.
Yeah.
And sports, starting time.
Yeah.
Schumacher, I shouldn't talk out of my ass, but I don't know if Schumacher won it. He might have.
Oh, I think he did with Benetton,
but again,
wasn't it? Yeah.
you're talking about Hamilton.
Or Jordan. Did he win one? Was his first with Jordan?
No, both with Benetton. But it might have been...
So maybe it might have been his third one.
He might have done it.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, we're talking about Hamilton... We're talking about Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Oscar Piastri in one sentence, if he does it. And Piastri's already netted himself a couple of stats right in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, the race starts, the consecutive finishes are right up with those two and Verstappen.
Yeah.
So he's already getting himself into a nice window of of goats.
It's interesting. I mean, yeah, it's such a stupid article without even knowing any of the context of it, just in the relation of like, you can't be world champion if you don't have a good car. Yeah. That's an impossible feat. And we've seen that throughout everything. Like the Schumacher run was mostly with Ferrari.
Yeah.
The Hamilton run was with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Literally probably the most dominant car of all time.
Yeah.
The Red Bull had one of the most dominant seasons.
He broke the record for the most amount of wins, or equaled him for the most amount of wins in a season and on the trot.
Yeah. So like that's such a stupid argument. Like you have to have the car, but you have to have enough talent to then make sure you can.
And again, he's put it over his almost veteran status teammate of 7 years.
Yeah.
With that team as well.
Do not send me that because I'll.
It's a bit of rage bait.
That is pure rage bait.
Yeah.
Okay, take us home. Right.
Sunday sesh. So I'll ask you a question. If you get it right, you're a Formula One purist. If you get it wrong, you're a Drive to Survive fanboy. And our box bashes
Yeah, I know.
get a tick in the other column.
Been quite the fanboy
And I
over
believe,
the last month.
yeah, I believe the bashes are actually in the lead.
Yeah, I think they got a one point lead over
So,
me. Yeah.
I'll try to level things up for you. I mean, you claim we're a team, so
Yeah.
I've got to level it up for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
don't let me down. All right. The 1986 Portuguese Grand Prix was run.
Great. Another 80s era question. I love it.
Ayrton Senna claimed pole position. This career pole position number was... Now it's multiple choice.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So I got a 1 in what, 4 choice?
Three. I'll give you three.
You've knocked him down to 3
Yep.
again. Oh, how kind.
So just so you know, bit of context, because I know you won't have it. He debuted in 85.
Okay.
This is 86, sort of mid-year-ish.
Right. Okay.
Mid to late in the year.
Who was he driving for? Did you say?
I didn't, but it'd
Okay.
be Lotus.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Lotus.
Yeah.
All right. A, 5, pole number 5.
Mm-hmm.
B, pole number 1. Or C, pole number 14.
There's a big smile.
No, I give you a real swing in all sorts of directions.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to. Again,
Multiple choice.
Yeah.
You know, like he's had a year and 3/4 in the sport.
And there was only like, how many races back then? There was only like.
Well, we just did 81, and that was 15 to 17, something like that.
So
So this is a bit later in the year.
14 seems absurd. So like, I'm inclined to rule that out, and I doubt that it would have been his first. So 5 is where I'm naturally leaning towards, and that's probably the safe bet. But your smile when you said 14 was very...
No, I was expecting you to crack it at me about
like why
the swing.
14? So he's been there, and it can't be 14. There's no way he came in and just got pole basically every race until after locking 5.
Okay, it's 14.
It's 14.
Yeah. That's why I had to pull this one out. I was like, that's amazing.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. Less than 2 years. I mean, he only had a 10-year run. He had over 60 poles.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew he was up there, but I didn't know he had 60.
In a 10-year
Wow.
run. And
Yeah.
his first year, I don't know if he did half a year, but he's racing for like Tolman, like I think, different team, shit team. And he moved to Lotus.
Mhm.
So probably only had a year in Lotus. So I don't know how
And
many poles.
Only half a year in a
He
Williams.
must have racked up. Oh, yeah. He must have racked up a tremendous amount of poles in 80. 86.
God, I got to go back and watch that doco. Like, if he came into the sport and then just basically started clipping
Just
off
reeling
poles,
off
right
poles.
from the get-go, that is absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Special
wow.
character.
Yeah, I'm not as mad to lose that one because that is like a
It's out there a little bit.
testament of
Yeah.
his greatness, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
geez,
14 poles.
Wow.
Tremendous.
sucks to lose a point on that one, but
Yeah.
all right. That's it for Azerbaijan.
Yep.
Not the race that we thought it would be going
No.
into it. But Singapore is the next round, so we'll start prepping for Singapore, and it'll be interesting to see how Oscar Piastri bounces back, especially with the context of how much Norris dominated that track last year. So I think naturally going in, I don't feel overly confident, but I think we've seen this year, and we've brought it up a number of times, he's one to rectify his mistakes. He comes back with a vengeance.
Oh, we're so far from his triple header.
We
Like,
are
so far. It was also got sprint races coming up as well. So
It's really hard to remember everything. Like, you know, talking to people through the week about Formula One, you know, you'll try and remember something from the beginning of the year, and you're like, man, I just can't,
so long
I
ago.
can't remember like who. Yeah, it literally feels like another year. You know, the season's so
Even doing
long.
this pod, like, and how far we've come in the pod. Thinking of like that Suzuka race, and I remember that pod being like bit of a slog, doing that podcast early on stages. You know, so that's how I think of the year now. I almost think of the podcast we did following this race or watching this race, thinking about okay, what are we going to do for the pod, or you know,
it's been good fun. All right. Anything else you want to add, or
no?
all right? Let's wrap it up.
All right.
GG's.
See you in Singapore.
See you then.